What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about energy, what it is, why it's important, how it's affecting your day-to-day life, and how you can start interacting with it. My name is Andre. I've been studying energy for years now. It has been the single most consistent modality and tool in my tool belt for my personal growth journey and becoming the man that I want to be in society today. So everything is energy. You might ask, well, what does that mean? It's like, okay, so if you've taken physics before, then anything that's solid, right? Pair of headphones, water bottle, whatever, is solid, made of atoms that are all held together very tightly, and they're held together that tightly by the energy of the bonds between the atoms and the elements within the atom. Liquid is a little more loosely bonded. And so it flows more and it's able to move and it's not held solid like ice, right? Water is liquid. Ice is also water, but solid. And then there's gas, where things are a little bit more less tightly bound, and it can flow a lot easier and expand. Water doesn't expand, liquid water doesn't expand, but gas water does expand, vapor. So there's energy within everything, and it's invisible, it's tiny. Think about germs from years and years and years ago. When soap was invented, someone said, yo, go take this thing, wash your hands underwater with this bar, and it'll be good for you, right? Because there's these little microbes called germs, which are invisible, you can't see them, but we got to get rid of them, and you don't want them to be a part of you. Same thing with energy. It's not that it's a bad thing, but it's invisible. You can't really see it until you learn to interact with and experience energy. And it really comes down to what can you do to experience and start to embody the feeling and the sensitivity to the energy in this world. So why should you care about it? It's everywhere. Just like we talked about the different states of water, for example, solid, liquid, and gas. There is energy that exists in your body and in society and in relationships and in communities. You can almost think about it in this solid, liquid, and gas form. That's one kind of framework I've been thinking through and putting together. For example, emotions are energy. That's one of the easiest things, one of the most common things. Well, as men, we suppress our emotions, so maybe they're not that common for us men, but emotions are energy, emotion, energy in motion. As men, we suppress our emotions, as I said, and women too. A lot of people, we're taught that don't make funny sounds in public, don't make weird sounds in public. It's not okay to make loud noises like screaming or maybe laughing too loudly or really sobbing and really feeling it, maybe at a funeral, but otherwise it's dude, what's wrong with you? So there's societal rules that contain people's energy, or that teach you to contain your energy while you're in that society and that community. And it's destructive to the body. It's destructive to the self, to the container, the human container of us, right? Our organs, our skin, our muscles, our everything, our soul, our consciousness, all gets affected when you have too much energy bound or wound in the system or stored in the system in this kind of solid state when it really should and wants to flow. I kind of think of it as that kind of solid liquid gas, right? Think of an emotion. You feel the sensation, you're starting to cry or you're starting to scream, and it just comes out of you. It's this kind of liquid, things are in motion, things are moving kind of state. But when it's bound and wound in the body and stored in the body, then it's kind of in this solid, stuck state. And that's where dis-ease starts to happen. It can show up as physical symptoms. It can show up as physiological issues in your body. It can show up as mental stuckness, such as overwhelm or repeating patterns in your life, right? And you can go get some some cognitive support with this. You can go get some cognitive support with this, like talking with your friends, talking with your mentors or guides or teachers. Therapy is a great approach. I've done a lot of therapy. It doesn't push all of the right buttons, though, all of the time. We need another tool in the toolbox. Therapy and just speaking, right? Speaking is words. Words, language, cognition, intellect. That's this level up here. But there's this whole energetic world of emotion, and all of these things we're talking about, trapped energy, and that whole world is not really going to get affected by this approach unless you have somebody who's really good, knows what they're doing, and I find that those people are extremely rare. So if you can start playing in this world, any help you get up at this level, you can amplify the benefits of it by bridging the gap yourself as you start to learn about the energetic layer, the base layer of our experience as humans on this planet. So I know I threw a lot at you, but that's kind of a 3,000 or 30,000 foot view, super high level view of what energy is. Okay, and the benefits of learning how to start interacting with this is there's two things. And one of them is there's so much that you can do on your own. There's all the cognitive stuff, and then there's the energetic stuff. And nobody can do this work but you. This stuff you can get help with from an external source or party. This stuff, there are only a handful of external things that can help you dive into this layer. You still have to allow that, let's say, releasing to happen. So it's still just you. No one else is doing it for you. So you can, I don't want to say control, but you are the operator down here. And you can learn to operate whenever you want, any time of the day, just by sitting down and doing some process to be with yourself. And that tool is a life skill. Once you learn this, it's like riding a bicycle. You're never going to forget it, and it's going to come in handy a lot more than you think. It's something that I've used every day for years, and it has completely transformed my life. Especially when I bring in all these other modalities like I talked about. I have my base, and I'm bringing in all these other tools and help I'm receiving from other professionals and people and therapists. I'm bringing it all back here, and then I'm doing this processing. I'm doing this work. So it's very, very powerful. So as you learn this, it's a life skill that you have. And you can take this and you can grow in whatever area of life that you're aiming for, whether that's your career, your business, your relationships, your family, your friends, or just your overall health. So it really is a base, a fundamental base of where to come back to as you are progressing forward. So as far as men in society today, there are a couple things, which is why this is very important. The first one I spoke about is, as men, we are conditioned to suppress our emotions. And because we are suppressing our emotions, we are literally suppressing the energy of our body, of our life force. We are suppressing it, and we are keeping it inside ourselves, inside the body. And that's where these things, that's where it starts to get stuck, for example. And if we're doing that, it's causing all these issues because there's this layer that we build to keep all of that down. And now we need to, or we now show up in the world where we have this layer, and we operate and we show the world this stuff, and we don't show the world anything below it. And the caveat or the crux of it is that we don't even show ourselves this stuff. We've built this layer so strongly and so so energized and powerful that we've become numb to everything down here as well. So we're not aware. So once you're on your personal growth journey, men, I would say the goal is, obviously stay on the journey, keep going, 100%. Rule number 1, keep going. And then you want to start diving in and digging in to see if you can feel this layer and start to peel it away. It takes time, of course, but that's the simple idea. So as we show up in the world with this layer, we're not being authentic because this isn't authenticity. This is a mask. We're not being confident because we can't feel the things that are making us not care about what other people say because we know ourselves, because we've built this layer. So we don't know ourselves, so we're not confident. We can't be intuitive and make decisions clearly because we're not in touch with ourselves again, because we've blocked off this communication between our, let's say, our minds and our hearts and our bodies and our authentic selves. So this is the problem. You can live and die with this. You can live your entire life and never do this work or realize you have this. And the question is, are you happy? Are you being who you want to be while you're here on earth? Are you being your authentic self? Are you in tune with your intuition? And are you making decisions in a way that you know you're going to make the result work no matter what? Because it's not about the decision, it's not about the external thing or the goal, it's about how do I feel about me being able to succeed in whatever choice I make. And that's an intuition thing. That is an authentic self operating in the world thing, a confidence thing. And when you don't have it, you're going to question everything, you're going to overthink, you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to ruminate on whatever decision you made. Did I make the right decision? Did I not make the right decision? You're going to worry about anything that happened. There are about things that haven't even happened yet, right? Like, you don't want to operate in the world that way. And I can say that because I have for so long, until I finally started realizing this layer exists and start to peel it away. So I hope that is informative. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope it explains to you how and why energy is so important. It's so powerful because if you think about power, power is just you can manipulate energy. That's what power is. Money gives you power, you can manipulate stuff. Power is, and energy is the ability to do work. And when we think of power, we think of someone who can influence a lot. You're doing a lot of work. You are making a lot of change. And all of that takes energy. And if you don't have the connection to the energy that you have and to yourself, you are going to not have that feeling of power because all your power is below this barrier. So again, as men, it's important for us to feel powerful. It really is, because that is a core part of being a man, is having that sense of self, having that sense of autonomy, having that sense of I can go do whatever I want in the world. And not only that, I am actually doing it. And if you don't have that connection to your power, then you're not going to operate in the world that way. And as a man, you might still make it, but I would argue you might feel something's missing in your life. You might feel something is just generally off or not right, and you can't quite put your finger on it. And again, that's because this stuff is invisible. You literally can't see it. You have to start to sense it and start to feel it. And as you tap in and you learn the processing and you learn the work to do, you're going to get there. And then you're going to feel way more like yourself than you've ever felt in your adult life. So I hope this helped you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a nice day, guys.